What's up, guys, and welcome back to Project Z Garage. Today we're continuing working on the engine mounts. We're gonna tackle that transmission / engine mount on the driver's side. In the last couple of videos we tackled the passenger side engine mount. Now we're gonna tackle the driver's side transmission. Well, I guess it's considered a transmission mount. So first things first, we're gonna start taking apart the intake. Just to get this part out of the way, we need to take the battery out and remove the battery tray. So we're going to start working on that. This is pretty easy. Just got to push in and then just got to click that out, and then that should be a 10mm. So we'll take those out and pull the battery out, and we can start taking apart the intake, which I believe these are T25s. Let's just double check that right now. Yep, T25s. So we're gonna remove all of those so that we can get this top part off and get to working on disassembly. All right, so we got the top cover off. We've taken the top piece off. Now we're gonna have to remove this bolt right here. This is what is holding the battery in place so it doesn't bounce around. I like to remove it completely, the fact that it makes it easier to take the battery out. We unplug the battery. Now we just gotta pull this tray out and the battery. All right, we got the battery out. Now we're gonna start taking this tray apart. This piece just clips in, see there? It's just a bunch of clips that you have to press back so it'll clip back in. We'll do the same to the other side. Actually, it's a good time to vacuum all of this out just to make it a lot cleaner in here. And then we got to take out these they look like maybe 12 or 13mm bolts that are holding the battery tray in. Alright guys, we got the air intake box and battery tray out, which was a real big pain in the butt. We actually had to disconnect this wire from the fuse box that looks like a ground. Could be a ground or a power, I'm not sure. But yep, that had to come out so that we can snake it through, because this thing is crazy. This piece here, getting it out of that grommet hole on the battery tray was a huge pain. But let's see what we got here. I believe this is the oil cooler, I think. Yeah, I think this is the oil cooler right here. And there is our transmission / well, I guess it'd be just a transmission mount, right? Because the engine's on that side. There's a transmission over here. This whole big piece. Oh, maybe that's a tranny cooler. My bad. It's probably a transmission cooler. If you guys know what it is, please let me know down in the description below, but we are not messing with that today. We came here for this mount, which will hopefully behave itself and come out. But we need to get this wire tray out the way. Now, let's try, we'll take that off. I wonder what's holding this thing in. Is it just clipped in? Let's get the good old pry tool. Let's see if we can. There we go. Some clips out the way. Push this one way or the other so we can get to those bolts. Doesn't look too hard. Gotta remember to put that ground back on there. And then there's some clips for some wiring here. Boy, this thing was a pain. The other two mounts were way easier than this thing. But hey, we're getting to it. We're gonna get it done. We're just gonna keep chugging along. So let's take a look at what sizes we have here. All right, guys, so this top nut is gonna be a 13. We got 18 millimeter, and then the 4 on this side. So the 3 are 18 on the engine side or transmission side, and the 4 on the body side are 16 millimeter. So we're gonna get to it. Ooh, don't want to lose that. Get that off, and then we can get that 18 millimeter. All right, guys, I'm gonna put you down so I can start taking these bolts out. All right, guys, we got the new mount in, all new bolts. Now we're gonna measure to make sure that we got the correct distance between the transmission and the frame, because there is a measurement for that. Honestly, as long as you match up to, if you look at the old mount and it's around where the outline is where the old bolts were, I think you should be good. You know, you want it to be parallel. You want everything to be, you know, you shouldn't have to force any of these bolts in, which, you know, we were lucky. Everything went in really nicely. I mean, we had to shake the engine around and get it in the right position. We moved the jack around underneath a little bit, but we got it where we needed to be. Now we're going to torque these. Definitely check your own manual, or look up your own manual. I'm going by what I found online, so you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. I'm hoping it's correct, but yeah, so I believe it is 50 Newton meters plus 90 on these 4 here, and then I believe it's 60. Hold on. So like I was saying, the ones back there are 50 Newton meters plus 90 degrees, and I believe these 3 here, which are 18 millimeters, are 60 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. There we go. Let's focus. It's not working with me. So we're gonna snug this up and tighten all of them up and do our plus 90 like I've showed you in all the other videos with the mounts, and then we shall go from there and try to start reassembling everything. Good time. Try to clean this area up, vacuum, get all this dust out, and we'll keep moving on. Alright, guys, so we've tightened it down to the torque specs. Now we have to do our 90. As you can see, I took a marker and marked the initial spot that we're at. So let's say that's 12 o'clock, and then we got to turn it to what, 3 o'clock out?
Yep, that's 90.
So we want to go 90 from the spot it's at. So we're going to tighten those down, and then we'll go from there. Alright, guys, we've torqued everything. As you can see, all the bolts have been torqued. We put the ground back on that one there. We've pushed this back into its spot, locked those down. Now we need to get the battery tray back in and the intake back in. Alright, guys, we got the battery tray back in, the battery back in, the intake back in, but we need to tighten this up. This isn't screwed in yet. Good thing I checked. We gotta check that. Screw that in. Everything else looks good. All those are in. This is back on. Battery thing's back on. Cover's back on. We just gotta clean up the intake. Intake looks horrible. might give this engine a quick detail once we're done. And then we'll get it buttoned up. But that's pretty much everything. Once we put the intake cover back on and connect that hose back on, that is it. And then we have to get the under tray on. Alright guys, that's pretty much wraps up replacing the transmission mount on this Audi Q3. This is a 2015 2.0 liter turbo. It's definitely a lot of work to do transmission. The other two mounts were way easier than doing this and remembering where everything went. But it went together well. I'm really happy. Definitely that mount was shot. It was shaking all over the place. So I'm really happy we got that replaced. Just remind you guys, like, share, and subscribe. And, you know, we'll catch you in the next one.